I'm not sure if you're supposed to put this much on, but this is how much I had, so I used it all. This is sound deadening. Sound deadening. Deaden sound. Like the name makes it sound. After about 2 super hot days, this is what it all looked like. I put this all over the place, as you can see. Some people do more, some people do less. This is everything I ordered, so I used it all. I don't know if I needed to cut it as small as I did in little strips like that, but that's what I did. I've seen other people just roll the whole mat on without cutting it. That was a pain in the ass. Probably overkill, but used what I got. So today, gonna be putting in my wool. Second time around for insulation. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, go watch the previous video. Now I have 100% sheep's wool. Still got a little freaking pink left in places, but I got most of it out. So I'm gonna do these doors. I got the Havelock wool because, well, I saw a bunch of other people using it, and after doing a bunch of research too, it seemed good because it doesn't mold. Well, that's the biggest thing, is it doesn't mold, and it has good insulation value. So I ended up using that after failing my first attempt of insulation using the fiberglass batting. I went with this, and it wasn't too expensive for the use I was using it for. Some people insulate their whole vehicle with it. I was just stuffing it in the pockets, the big pockets that these Econolines have. First door is done. Stuff is about 2 inches thick, but some of these door panels are about 4 inches thick, so I've been folding it in half like that, and it gives you a lot thicker material shoving in there. Next we'll do this side. Cutting them into strips, folding them in half, shoving them in. Shoving them in. As you've noticed throughout this van build, I struggle to talk, especially on camera. Stuff it in there. This part of the insulation is a tedious process. I probably spent about a day shoving my hand in these tiny little holes, cutting my fingers up on the metal edges, but it's a process I wouldn't skip. I'm talking to myself. So I gotta do the headboard. Can't see anything right now. Well, yeah, you can. Get up in here. I keep bonking my head. Ah! It's so hard working in a space this small. But got the insulation up there. Just gonna attach this back to the roof, and it's done up front for the most part for now. I'll upgrade the front and the... This is me putting up my vapor barrier. I was using reflectix and aluminum tape. I cut it into a bunch of small pieces, which then I had to cut a bunch of pieces of aluminum tape to cover all the edges. If I were to do it again, I would cut bigger pieces of reflectix, so then I wouldn't have to use as much tape, but I think it came out pretty well. Wow, that was pretty difficult, and hopefully it's actually doing something and not working against me. But I think I got my vapor barrier. I don't know what I'm doing exactly. I created what I think might be a vapor barrier, at least for the walls for now. I probably didn't do it the best way, the most efficient way, but I got it done. I don't claim to know what I'm doing or be doing it the right way, so take that for what you will. One thing that's holding me up is installing this seat. To do that, I need to install these rails. Measure these out and drill holes in these in this so I can put it under the van to give this something to hold on to. I've seen other people doing this, and I figured it sounds like a safe bet. Should be really secure once this is under the van. I don't know what I'm talking about, but yeah, so I got to get these in before I can start my floor. It's a 1/8 inch, 1.5 inches. I gotta get these little nubs off. My friend lent me his angle grinder, and I can't get the blade off because I don't have the tool for it. Disclaimer, I didn't see the little Allen wrench hole located in the middle. I have a blade that's for cutting. This is just for grinding, but I'm gonna just try and use it right now. This is the first time I used an angle grinder, and I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. got that thing off. What an artsy shot. More sparks. And there it is. It's looking nice. Got some cardboard tape to the bottom to try and protect the car. I'm gonna try and snap these in place.
Where are the seats going? There's no hole here.
This is my lovely wife. Always so optimistic. Babe, this is the problem. Yeah, I have to drill holes. One of the rails is gonna go right here, and then the other rail goes 1, 2, 3, 4 goes right here. On the step or on the upper step? Or do that. This is what I have to work with. Right there. Whoa!
Why don't we put it on the other end? Should put a table here. There's more space in the front than in the back. I think you need to get the cardboard out.
So I got it where I want it. This is definitely going to be the scariest thing yet. What am I drilling holes for? Here I am raging out right before I drill some holes for the seat rails, which I will connect from underneath with these metal brackets that I made. And that should give the seat rail some extra support so the seat won't just rip through the floor if I had just used bolts. Got my holes drilled. Pretty happy with how in line everything is though. That will be in soon. Wow. It's in. Bolted down. That was fucking difficult. Putting that seat in was so hard. Underneath, I didn't anticipate not being able to put these freaking brackets from the bottom up. There was things all in the way. I thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was. I could not get my hand. I could, but it was so difficult to get my hand with the washer and the bolt after putting the bracket on, getting it all to stay in place. It was, my goodness, that was super hard. But now that I got my seat rails installed, I can go ahead and start my floor, starting with the back first. Luckily I got the big old floor mat that I'm just laying down, and I'm going to trace out the back of this mat, lined up pretty flush with the back of the van. Excited to get on these floors. Time to start cutting. I got two options, the razor blade or the knife. This is my insulation that I'm using for the bottom layer. It's the pink foam. I think it's EPS foam. Any new blood. I got that board cut out. Moment of truth. Comment below if you think it's gonna fit first try or if I'm gonna have to cut again. Wow, that was lucky. That was close. I'm glad. Heck that out. Wow. Wowdy wow wow. Oh. So now I can take this and I can trace this onto my plywood, my 1/2-inch plywood. I can use this as a template for my next piece of wood. So I'm pretty happy with today's progress. Each step is just getting me so much closer and it's so exciting. Choo! Choo! Woo! Choo! Woo! 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 Alright. I got a subfloor. Everything is harder than it seems when you're building the van. You think about it and it seems like you're going to be able to get things done in whatever amount of time you think you're going to get them done, and then you start doing it and it takes like 5 times as long as you think it's going to take. So I thought I could get away with not putting any furrowing boards, whatever they're freaking called, any of these strips down to connect my subfloor with. I thought I would just glue my insulation to the floor and then glue my plywood to that, but I don't want this plywood to warp, and then it already is warped a little bit from just sitting in my yard, so I decided just to put these strips in just to be safe so it doesn't start bowing up in the corners. Now I'm gonna have to recut my freaking foam now again too, which, yay, more work for me, like I always do. I'm I'm really good at that. First off, I should have measured these ones out to 4 feet instead of putting these ones in first. I'm always really good at creating more work than necessary. Like these, I didn't need to do. I realized I should just put it straight back here. And then I ended up with some weird little thing that I had to freaking fill in. This is all gonna look cleaner at the end. I'll put some finishing wood across everything. What I'm saying as I'm talking, like I realize I don't make any sense and I don't know what I'm talking about, but I guess this is just how I'm doing my van build. Whatever, it looks okay. It's been so much more work than it's needed to be. So I gotta glue a bunch of pieces down now, and then I'm ready to cut the foam. So after cutting all my foam pieces and putting them in place, I sprayed in some gap filler foam, the expanding foam spray, which helped hold the foam board in place. And then I also thought if I were to ever spill thing on top of the floor, that it would help prevent the liquid from getting all the way down to the metal of the van. Here I am cutting the excess away. Floor is officially ready for the plywood subfloor. Well, first I gotta figure out the template for it since I cut up my template I was gonna use. But that's an adventure for next episode. Like, comment, and subscribe.